Alright guys, buckle your seatbelts for this one. This is the best game that I played in the 101 battles I played in the Hotchkiss. Going up to the 3 mark, right? We 3 marked the tank in 101 battles, but this is going to be the best game you're going to see in those 101 battles. We ended up with 9 kills, and we were able to carry this game. It was a brilliant game, and I made a couple mistakes in this game. A couple mistakes for sure. Like, I make mistakes every game, guys, but I'm telling you, usually in these games that I carry, it's one of two things, or a mixture of them. I usually get pretty lucky, I'll say, like kind of lucky, and also I'm just a skilled player, right, with light tanks when it comes to some of these lower tier games. This is a 5, 6, 7 game, and players like see what I mean, man? Players like this playing the EBR Hotchkiss, like they're so aggressive. It's like for no reason. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, you're just throwing your tank away, right? And this is why I just don't get why these guys play like this. I'm expecting him to come up and over again. Like, conserve your HP, guys. Like, oh my gosh, it almost bothers me. Like, conserve your HP, man. Like, don't make these stupid runs. Like, you make one, right? If you want to make one, that's fine, but don't keep doing this. Like, this guy's just throwing away his HP, right? But anyway, this is going to be a really good one, guys. And usually, like when I have these games, it's a combination of me getting kind of lucky and just not making mistakes, like not making mistakes at all, right? And playing well and just playing smart, right? Not even being skilled. Like I said, skilled, but I don't even think that's the right word. It's more just playing smart, right? You really just want to always play smart in light tanks, and that's what I did here. I just really conserved my HP well and use it at the appropriate times. So we're going to poke up here. One thing I want to tell you guys, when you are playing on Overlord, in any tank, be very, very careful when you come into this middle zone, because what happens here, right, if the enemy team is not being contested in this area, so let me draw this out. Here you have a ridge line, right? If the enemy team is not being contested in this area by people that are in this area for your team, what's going to end up happening here is you're going to come up and over, you're going to come into this ridge line here, and then you're going to get pressed like this. This has happened to me countless times. Like, I can't tell you guys, I wouldn't be able to count it with fingers and toes how many times this has happened to me where I've come diving into here, right? Because what I want to do is I want to come up like this and just sit here and poke and try and poke shots at people like this and maybe try and spot like tank destroyers here or people here or whatever. But what ends up happening is if you don't have this one, or it's just not being contested, right? It doesn't even have to be lost technically, right? Like, it's not that, it's really just about contesting it. Because if someone's able to go like this without being contested, right, without being hit, they're going to do it every time to come counter you. So that's what I mean is, like, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to lose this entire area of the map or anything like that. It can happen at the very beginning of the game. But if you do not have teammates here to contest someone doing this, don't go like this, okay? I'm telling you, like, I don't think anyone is going to describe it like this for you. I'm describing it like this for you because I don't want this to happen to you. Because the amount of times I've thrown games or just had an awful, awful game and threw away all my HP in this area, I'm telling you, man, like, don't do that. Like, be really careful with how you do that, because what ends up happening as well is the tank destroyers will sit back here, and then when you come running back over the ridgeline, they can whack you in the butt as you're running away, right? So we get a shot there into the Hotchkiss, I think it was, and Jagdpanzer's also poking here, but just always make sure, guys, like, please, 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 if you take anything from this video, make sure that you are safe to approach this, come down into this little dip here. Otherwise, you're going to get YOLO'd. So now we're just... And see, look, it's going to happen to the Cromwell, man. See, people just YOLO, like, they'll come right up and over, or they'll run through like this, and that's his game. So that's a perfect example, right? So just don't do that, man. Like, always play it safe. And also try not to get hit by leafs in the back of the map. So at this point, I'm thinking, game isn't looking too good, but I know I can counter these guys here. I'm trying to just keep them lit, keep them honest, right? That's what I always like to say. And I'm just poking this bush line, trying my best to counter these guys, to keep them lit for my team, And now we have the AEC poking here. I'm able to get an HE into him as well, and this is where the HE shells are paying off in the EBR Hotchkiss, guys. 75 millimeters of penetration. You really need to use these to your advantage. 260 damage a shot. So use this to your advantage. The AEC now, if I pen him, is a one-shot to me. If I use the APs, he's not. So always know when you can use these. Leaf is targeting me again. T-71 comes up and over. I'm going to hit this guy, clean him up, and now I'm hoping that one of these other guys is going to press me at this point. EBR comes around. I missed the shot to him, unfortunately. Is what it is. This guy actually did pretty well, though, to adjust after he lost his HP, right? We hit him again here. Screen not penetrated. It's like, I hate these HE updates, man, that they did all this time ago. Screen not penetrated, and now it's like, all right, man, I'm just going to kind of get out of here. Like, I think this is going to be a loss. We really need to readjust here. VK is coming around here. I'm able to put a shot into this guy. Only 28 damage. Now, again, know when to use the HEs, right, guys? I should have just loaded an AP for this one. I'm just going to auto-lock this guy again with the HE at this point and switch to the APCRs now, and now I need to eliminate this guy from the game. So I'm going to do that with the APCRs or the APs. You need the little bit of extra pen. It's all about just knowing when you need to switch ammo, right, guys? Like, in that situation, I should have just switched. I had two chances, right, to switch, and I just didn't switch. So always know when to switch. And yeah, man, like this game is going to get really good now, man, because a lot of these people are one-shots, right? So I'm going to pull back, try and wait for this Jagdpanzer to poke out on me. Trying to see what he's going to do. Now I'm just conserving my HP very well, right? We started bringing this game back a little bit. You can see it's 12-8 now. Before it was like, what, like 12-5 or something like that. So I'm going to poke up like this. Jagdpanzer's coming around the corner. I'm going to hit this guy. And now what I need to do is I'm looking at the lineup, right? I have just 2 Arty. What I actually need to do is I'm going to load the HE, fight the AEC. Like, I'm going to go after the AEC. I'm able to clean this guy up, and I need to run away from incoming enemies. At this point, I can't save my Arty, man. I'm going to try my best, but I need to conserve my HP because I'm the one that's ultimately going to end up carrying this game. So what I'm going to do is poke on the gorilla here, get these shots into the gorilla, and then I'm going to come back and reset the base and hope that I can keep my other Arty alive. But I don't want to just leave the gorilla sitting there, right? So now I'm going to come up over here. This is where view range kind of sucks because the EBRs don't have great view range, and I want to try and keep my Leaf alive now. But it comes to a situation, guys, where you have to conserve your own HP as well. So you try and do this to the best of your ability while keeping your Arty safe, and we're able to clean up the EBR there, and now we still have the Leaf, right? I'm very, very happy that I still have the Leaf because the Leaf is like the most broken Arty in the game, and this guy can really help me out. So Jackson's approaching here. I spot him for the Leaf, trying to see if the Leaf can get a shot. And then I'm going to come back around and just continue to try and be unpredictable, right? I want to go all the way back up and over here and get shots at the Jackson. He's now approaching the Leaf, but now I have easy shots into this guy, right? So the Leaf is going to end up going down here. Of course, I'm getting the most trollish gun handling when I'm trying to save my friendly Leaf. And it's unfortunate, man, but this guy should now be like a 2-shot. And, you know, the Leaf is all really... apparently really, really mad. It's like, I'm trying my best, man, you know? And now we come to a situation where I want to try and eliminate the KV2. I know it's the KV2 on the cap, right? We slow down there. We try and take a shot at this guy. We miss. The way the KV2 works, man, is like, it's kind of trollish when you're trying to aim at them and you can only see the turret because their gun is so big on the turret that a lot of times it'll like ricochet and do weird things. I literally stayed there, waited to aim, took the shot and missed, and the KV2 did have a chance there to kill me, and that's the one mistake I made in this game. I think another mistake was like maybe I could have taken a different angle or just tried to have a frontal fight with the Jackson instead, but I really think this was a good play to get side shots into him. I was trying to keep my Arty alive, man, right? I don't want to be greedy. I really don't want to be greedy, but what you have to realize, guys, is when it's just you and an Arty, like, eventually you're going to have to kill the rest of the team at some point. Like, you have to keep this in mind, right? Like, eventually you're going to have to kill the team at some point if it's just you and Arty, right? Like, there's no one else to really do anything. So Leaf is able to hit me here. Luckily, he doesn't pen me. This is why I always tell you guys, be careful with Arty. Jackson is hitting me, and this is also where I make a mistake. I probably should have just rushed the Arty here. But Jackson is able to hit me there. Luckily, I'm able to bounce it, though. And now we're in a situation where we just have to face the Jackson. What's the best way to do this? Approach from this bush line. If I don't spot him here, I actually went out of the bushes there, which you don't want to do that. But I'm able to hit him here. And then eventually I'm going to approach this guy from another direction, right? So I'm trying to get another shot into him here. I'll show you my view now. I like to go overhead so I can really show you guys like where I'm going on the map exactly. And now I'm just going to switch to my view. I'm going to take a different angle on this guy, right? This is what you want to do when you're trying to reset a cap, is constantly take different angles. So I'm taking a different angle here, just like we did when we took side shots at this guy as he was going after my arty, right? Again, guys, it's like you're caught in the middle of trying not to be greedy and trying to save your team, right? If I were to just be right next to the arty and try and save him and take all these shots, I might not have been able to carry this game, you know? So we approach here. If I wanted to be really, really like fancy, I could have just approached this guy using like one of the pushes, but at this point I'm willing to take a shot from the Jackson because I know I can take one from him. And that's the game, guys. We're able to get the jump on this guy. We hit him twice, we reset the cap, and this enemy team wasn't great, right? Like, I'm not saying that I would have had this game if the enemy team had all like really good players, but this is the reality of playing these mid tiers, man. Like, there's just a lot of average players, and we were able to make it work, guys. We did 3,000 damage, 9 kills. We didn't even do any spotting, but we were able to bring this game back and get the win. And again, I made several mistakes here. We gave the KV2 an easy shot, we gave the Leaf an easy shot, and then subsequently, because I was up taking shots at the Leaf, the Jackson had a pretty easy shot at me. So it's a little bit of luck, but it's also conserving your HP and staying alive. And when you conserve your HP, you're then allowed to make a couple of mistakes every game, right? You're allowed to not be perfect. You can take a couple shots and still continue on with your game. So that's why I never make those really stupid active scout runs at the beginning of the game. This was a 15k WN8 game, man, and like, guys, I'm not one to pad my WN8, but I actually have gotten several people asking me, like, how do I pad WN8? Dude, just take a tank that people suck in and do damage and kills and stay alive. Like, it's pretty freaking easy, man, to pad WN8 if you really, really wanted to. I'm not really a fan of this statistic, but unfortunately, it's the only one that you can get. That's like measured right everywhere through XVM and stuff like that. Like, I've actually taken XVM and switched before to like WTR rating, I think. What I really want is a recent WN8. That's what I want, because there are players that have a WN8 of like 8 or 900 that now play at like a 2000 level, right? That would be really helpful, recent WN8. But again, don't get caught up on the WN8, man. But for those that really want to pad it, this is how you do it, man. Just stay alive. Do kills, do damage. If that's what you want, then do it. But just keep in mind that that doesn't always correlate with winning a game. More times than not, it will, right? Doing damage and getting kills, a lot of times that's going to be a lot better in helping your team get a win, but not always. There are certain situations where it's better to spot than run out and do damage, guys, right? I think they're few and far between, but there are games like that. You will see a lot of streamers tell you, like, do damage first in your lights. That really depends on the map, man. This is one of those maps where you don't have to spot anything. So it would be true on Overlord, because, like, what are you spotting, man? Like, you come up to this little ridge line, and yeah, I guess you can spot people that are on the ridge lines, but other than that, you kind of need to do damage in this tank, and we had to do that here. 9 kills, 3k damage. That's it, guys. That's all, but hopefully you can see like where I made the mistakes here, where we did the things right and where we did the things wrong. And you know, a little bit of luck goes a long way when you're able to conserve your HP. So that's it. High caliber Top Gun and all these other, probably past Scoochies or something. We killed 2 Arties, right? Was a mastery, and I think one of these is also like when you reset the cap multiple times or something like that. So this is by far the best game that I've played in the EBR Hotchkiss. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it helps you out. Top eye experience, top eye damage, man. And that's it. So when I played this game, this is my scouting setup, but I was running it with the other setup. I'm not sure if I explained that to you guys, but it was like, I think I run like Rammer, Bounty Vents, and like the aim tuner or something like that. It's something like that, guys, but just set it up for damage. Whenever you're on a city map, especially if you're in like an EBR that already doesn't have good view range, man, just set the tank up for DPM, right, and accuracy. That's your best bet. And that's the game, guys. I don't have much else to discuss. I think I've said everything I needed to say. But again, sometimes you're just caught between trying to save your teammates and being greedy. And you could say I was greedy going after the enemy Artie, but it's like at some point, man, we need to eliminate these people from the game. And if I don't eliminate the enemy Artie, then Artie has a shot whenever the leaf is spotted. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, there's a lot of people that always comment telling me, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that, you should have done this first and then do that. And it's like, dude, I'm the one playing the game at the end of the day. Like, I appreciate the advice, but like when you're in the game, you're not thinking XYZ all the time because hindsight's always 2020. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye now.